Is everyone actually wrong about XRP? I want to discuss that in this quick video. If you are someone out there feeling that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, you're feeling price exhaustion and wondering what is actually coming for XRP, I want to discuss that in this quick video, give you some pieces and a clip here at the end. I believe that by the end of this video, you're going to have confidence if you don't right now. If you are someone that's feeling bullish, feeling good about XRP and the direction in which this is going and knowing what you hold, I think we've got a good piece for you as well. This is going to be a good refresher and something that will give value to everyone. If you do like talking about Ripple and XRP, I want to say a special thanks to everyone that likes and subscribes, and let's get straight into it. Now, a couple comments caught my eye here recently that I want to discuss with you guys. One being that someone was talking about how the S&P 500 this year has offered better gains than XRP. And what I will say on that is the S&P 500 and the cryptocurrency market are wildly different. When we take a look at the cryptocurrency market, being really in its infancy stages still, it is highly volatile because it is an emerging market, right? It is a new asset class. And with that, you get a lot of volatility on the downside, but also on the upside. And the S&P 500, when you take a look at the S&P 500, this is really a long-term play. Something that is very smart to get into, I believe, and dollar cost averaging over 30 years and getting a slow but steady 10% plus gain per year. Some years are better than others, but overall you're looking at roughly 10% gain per year on the S&P 500 versus XRP that could see thousands of percents in gains in a single month. Is that the implementation of this technology and the actual adoption and mass adoption of this technology and being utilized for its use cases, XRP specifically, is going to dwarf the gains we've seen in the past. So you've got two things. You've got the investment vehicle of XRP, retail institutions investing in XRP to help lift the price or bring down the price, as whales will sell and oppress the price often and retail will flood out, but also they can manipulate it on the upside. But then we also look at the mass adoption. We look at what is coming with the Clarity Act and the banks actually utilizing XRP at mass scale for cross-border payments and what it was designed to do. And the utility behind XRP that is going to bring value on chain to utilize XRP, propping up the price much higher, much more so than anything we've seen in the past. We take a look at market psychology and from investment thesis. We took a look at something like Tesla. We have to understand from the early days, for years, it was the most fudded and hated on stock in the market. And we all know what's happened since then. It's up over 35,000% because in those early days, Tesla continued to push forward, continue to make those connections and build. While that is exactly what we've seen with Ripple. This year, we have had phenomenal news. When we take a look at G Treasury, what's happened with Hidden Road, massive partnerships out there, finally getting clarity from the SEC and Ripple lawsuit. We have to understand that the market isn't always rational, unfortunately, and it's definitely not controlled by us, small retail. Those whales out there right now that have been accumulating OTC and dark pools, they're in the background laughing right now as they see retail flood out of this space and knowing that it's never been more obvious what is around the corner, that Clarity Act. And there's so much negativity out there. And as I stated last night in my video, it spreads. It spreads like a wildfire. And last night I was talking to someone on X. He said, I just wish I would have known about XRP when it was 50 cents. And ultimately, my statement to that would be, it doesn't matter when you got in, whether you got in at 10 cents, 50 cents, $1, or now. What matters is how much you hold. We take a look at it mathematically, it's how much you actually hold. You could have got in at 10 cents, but if you only put in $10, that's not a lot of XRP versus getting in at $2 and accumulating over the course of this entire year, you have a lot more XRP in your holdings. So lastly, I'm going to show you a clip, but first I want to state that what gives me the confidence and allows me to put a smile on my face each and every day and talking about XRP and this asset is because I believe whether it's big or small, an impact is being done here on this channel and allowing people to get the information they need about XRP. I believe this asset is going to create more millionaires and billionaires for the average Joe than any other asset in history. And I believe that, and I genuinely believe that. And I think that these are people that weren't handed anything like many millionaires and billionaires out there have been. They're seeing the value in XRP. Many smart people out there, intelligent, highly intelligent people, smarter than myself, believing in XRP and understanding that simply dollar cost averaging into XRP gets you so much closer to that goal of where we all know XRP is going, which will allow to break those chains and give you that financial freedom that so many want. And so I want to play you this clip. It's a goodie, it's an oldie. Some of you have seen it, some of you haven't, but it's always good to play some of these clips as a refresher and give us that confidence we need as investors with XRP. So all I got for you for now. Let me know what you think of this video. We will see you all in.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors? Former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany? Former business director at Swift? Former Swift board member? Former CFO of PayPal? Former head of the DTCC? Former chief business officer at Uber? Former VP of Amazon and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan?